Silent versus sound horror. What Nosferatu tells us about early cinema. Picture this, it's 1922, and cinemas are packed with audiences ready to be scared out of their wits, and without a single spoken word. Nosferatu, a masterpiece of silent horror, was etched into history. But what does this silent horror classic tell us about early cinema? Grab your garlic and crosses, because we're diving into the shadowy world of silent versus sound horror. Number 5. Expressionism in full bloom. Nosferatu is the blood-stained hallmark of German Expressionism, a visual style characterized by exaggerated angles, stark contrasts, and nightmarish landscapes. These elements created a surreal, otherworldly aesthetic that whispered, "You're in for a fright." While later horror films would incorporate dialogue and sound effects, the visual intensity of German Expressionism laid the groundwork. It was a blueprint for marrying visual style with emerging sound technology to craft experiences that were not just seen but felt deep in the bones. Number 4. The birth of atmospheric horror. Thanks to Nosferatu, the horror genre embraced atmosphere as its silent killer. The foggy landscapes, decaying castles, and desolate streets were terrifying characters in their own right. This eerie environment was constructed with meticulous attention to detail, amplifying the dread without uttering a single syllable. When sound films eventually arrived, this atmospheric brilliance translated into eerie soundscapes and environmental storytelling that elevated the horror experience. Nosferatu was the granddaddy of using atmosphere to keep audiences awake at night. Number 3. Creative camera work. With silent films lacking spoken words, directors had to get creative. Enter the era of innovative camera work. Nosferatu employed techniques like shadow play, forced perspectives, and time-lapse photography to dazzle and disturb audiences. The eerie scenes of Count Orlok's elongated shadow creeping against walls are etched in cinema history. These visual marvels weren't just for show, they hinted at the unseen potential of the camera, later amplified with the advent of sound. Early cinema was truly an experimental playground. Number 2. Iconic performances without a single word. Max Schreck's portrayal of Count Orlok is iconic for a reason. He didn't need dialogue to creep into our nightmares. His physicality, facial expressions, and the way he moved sent shivers down the spine. Nosferatu taught us that performance isn't just about what is said but how it is shown. This emphasis on body language and visual storytelling laid the groundwork for how actors would convey terror in sound films, where dialogue would complement but never replace the raw, visual fear factor. Number 1. Music as the invisible ghost. Music, the unseen puppeteer pulling at our emotional strings. In Nosferatu, music isn't just an accessory, it's an essential narrative tool. As viewers in the 1920s stared into the eerie eyes of Count Orlok, the tension mounting in their hearts wasn't solely due to his ghastly appearance. It was the chilling crescendos and spooky symphonies playing in the background. Imagine watching Count Orlok rise from his coffin without the spine-tingling soundtrack. It's like Halloween without pumpkins. This significant detail highlighted how crucial sound would become in horror cinema. So, there you have it, a journey from silent chills to sound thrills, all through the eerie lens of Nosferatu. This chilling classic didn't just scare early 20th century audiences, it whispered secrets of cinema's potential. With the birth of sound, these silent innovations found a voice, giving us the multi-sensory horror experiences we scream for today. Now, whatever you do, don't look over your shoulder. Nosferatu's shadow might just be creeping up on you.